Good evening. Sorry, now it's a new system. I have to admit here. I thought I will give you time to talk. It didn't happen.
Yeah, Vladimir, last time it seemed that there was more problem than usual for people connecting. And you had to redo your connection, 5 or 10
Yes.
minutes into the meeting. And this time I found the same thing.
Oh.
I didn't get an email from you today, so I used one that we've had in the past, and it gave me the message that this meeting was held on 10/4/22. So that was a
Yeah.
couple months ago. So I went back and the December 5th email used the same code and gave the 10/4 date. But when I went back to the 11/28, November 28, that code worked and got me into where we are now.
Yes. Yes, Vladimir. Me too. It's saying
Me
October 4th.
Me too. Me too. Everybody, I think.
Sorry. It just pops up in my corner that the meeting is coming, so I clicked on it and that's it. I didn't even think of anything. I will have to check and to make it. Zoom is doing sometimes strange things. It's not only with this, with the other classes also. Suddenly 2018 class or something, October, some bugs are there. They have to correct.
Do you want to send out a flyer to the other sometimes?
Sure.
Yeah,
I will do that now.
Or
Sorry.
maybe you have to update the date always.
Maybe. Maybe Radha did something on our email, our update. She's in charge of the updates. Radha, I will have to find out. Let me send everybody home in case somebody wants to join us. Oh, Dolan is coming in. It was Dolan's request and somebody else to who tried to check with our bank, this knowledge bank, and they requested to put these study groups. Usually we don't do that, because it's more like we discuss and so on, many private things. So I have to ask you, because in case you feel that not certain things should not be there or should be cut out, so I will do that, in case. Or I will say no, so it's fine. We discussed this with Radhe, so it should not be a problem for you. We have to feel that this is our space for study and not for kind of showing off somewhere.
So anyway, we got your new Zoom announcement.
Okay. Lovely. So if you have objection, please write to me. You can write to me secretly, separately, that others should not know. And then we follow the advice. Okay, I'm projecting the text. We stopped at tamasic food. It wasn't our case. I got this beautiful payasam from Gita Shri. I was eating, and cold is even better. When it stays a little, it becomes so juicy. All the juice goes in. Hot is good, but cold is even like dessert, like ice cream or some kind. Cold is tamasic, yes, it's not so sattvic. Warm is sattvic, hot is rajasic, cold is tamasic. So I'm making it a little tamasic. It was too sattvic.
That's okay, as long as you enjoyed it.
Very much so. So here is about tamasic food. Okay, let's start with mantra. Om Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat uchishtam api chamedhyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Tamasa priyam, dear to tamasic temperament. Bhojanam, food. Amediam, uchishtam cha amediam. Uchishtam, leftover, something which is leftover, or he Shubindu translates remnants half eaten. But yes, the tamasic temperament takes the perverse pleasure in cold, impure, stale, rotten, and tasteless food, or even accepts like the animals, the remnants half eaten by others. Yeah, it's closer to those paishachic, form of enjoyment. There is the whole range of beings in this world. We look at them as lower beings, but they do their work. They eat up all the leftovers. Yeah, they kind of digest and bring it back to nature in some way. All those worms, all those flies, they work hard really to decompose everything which was left over, because if it will be staying, we will be already covered in corpses, as Shubinda says somewhere. If death would not work, it's a hard work. There are too many creatures working for decomposition of what is left over. So this is type of tamasic work. Crows, all these, you see these vouchers in the US, wherever you see some deer hit or something, the immediately vouchers are coming. They are the doctors, they are cleaning up. So, well, it's not so pleasant for us to think, but nature works. Yeah, it's a mechanism which works.
Yes, it's all a part of nature. And in relation to this verse, perhaps cold is not tamasic after all, because this was written before refrigeration, refrigeration, and it would perhaps mean food that's just left aside. Or
Right.
Yeah. I'm
Very
surprised.
good point. Very good point.
I'm surprised he uses, Sri Aurobindo uses the term cold there. Would that be for yatayamam?
Yes.
Because the translation I'm used to is stale.
Yes.
So that is, and yata means past, it's gone. It's is what's ayamam? Is that taste or flavor?
Yes, used, spoiled, useless, rejected. There's all these words, yatayamam. But yeah.
It could be a typo, old instead of cold.
Yeah,
That would fit it better.
Something out of place, also.
Yeah.
Misplaced also, yes.
Yeah, I'll check his original and see if it's cold. Old instead of cold.
Maybe I'm too much against cold. Actually, I like cold food, so I thought it is a tamasic. But people eat ice cream also, so what can we do?
I mentioned that relative to cold, so that I was trying to encourage you not to feel guilty about enjoying cold pies.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what is meant here by impure food?
Puti. Putti is something which is cleaned up, yes, with that the dirt which is cast out. Leftover or putti is usually everything which we, garbage or what we waste, which we don't use as food. When we, for example, some people clean fish, everything which we don't eat is putti, it's going off into the nature. We don't eat everything, so we choose only parts. Even lions don't eat the whole body. They leave a lot for others, vultures and so on. So gata rasam gone rasa. The taste is gone. Putti is something which is like, not eatable. Pariushitam, pariushitam. Maybe which is lying around, maybe, or something stale, rotten. I don't know. We need to know all these things, yes? And dictionary doesn't give us this. All right, it's actually parivas, parivas. To put on, to assume, to surround a tent, parivas, to abide, stay, remain, something which remains, like leftovers, pariyushitam.
Yeah, so I looked up in Sri Aurobindo's paraphrase of the Bhagavad Gita, and he does have cold. It's not just a typo.
Yeah, cold in the sense that it was not eaten in time.
Oh, yeah, left over.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what Martha said, that there
right.
was no refrigeration. So
It should have been cold.
once it is getting cold means even weather could not keep it warm, which is hot in India. So that means it's already bad.
Or it's lost the heat from cooking.
Right. And you noticed that in India, they always eat only freshly cooked food. In every family, in the most kind of people, poor people, they will not eat leftovers. They will cook again rice, they will go through the whole procedure, they spend time, but rice and that sambar will be new. We are used to keep food in here, and especially in northern countries, we also ferment food. They don't eat fermented food in India at all. There's no such culture of fermented food. Interesting.
So they have curd, yogurt.
Yeah, and also yogurt is very, and they have this ghee. Ghee can stay. But even with the yogurt, it's like 4 hours yogurt. If it is going to the next day, it's just questionable because of climate, I think.
Yeah. They make yogurt every day.
Yeah. And 4 hours yogurt, it is the one which has to be used. As I remember being in India, it's 4 hours yogurt or not? No, then don't bring to me. 5 hours yogurt, I don't eat. Funny. It's like with the eggs in the West, 3.5 minutes eggs or 4 minutes. Like I told you 3.5. So this would be a big discussion. It's all about food. Funny. Food is some kind of addiction. It's a manner of how our body is finding itself comfortable within certain environment. All food is addiction. Right. I saw Korean children who came to our solar kitchen, and they couldn't find any food for themselves to eat. They eat rice in Korea, but in solar kitchen, there was no rice for them. They were so disgusted with all food. because they are used to different food. Low rice and the same stuff, but not for them. Apala kankshi bhich yajñach. Now we are coming to yajna. So we leave food behind, Gita Shri, sorry. If you want to clarify something of these foods, this is katu, amla. We spoke about this, yeah? Katu, amla, lavana, atyushnam, tikshna, ruksha, videhinach, ahara, rajasa, rajasasya, ishta, dukkha, shoka, maya pradach. Dukkha shoka maya pradach. Amayam is also a kind of oh no, dukkha, yes, dukkha shoka amaya pradach. So katu, you know katu. Katu is bitter. Amla, sour. All these. Lavana, salty. That's what everybody loves in India. There's all Rajasic food, all the spices. Yeah, atyushna, very hot. Tikshna, very sharp. Give a lot of spices. Ruksha, hard. Videhinach. Vidahinach. Vida ahinach. Wait a minute, I have something I wrongly read. Let me read Shri Aurobindo, maybe I'll find. The Rajasic temperament prefers a naturally food that is violently sour, purgent, hob. I don't know what is hob. Acrid, rough, and strong and burning. And the elements that increase ill health. Elements that increase ill health and distempers and the distempers of the mind and body. Such as language distempers. What is hob?
Hot.
Huh?
Hot, H-O-T.
Oh, it's tea. Oh, it's just misprint. I thought, what is hob?
Yeah, I think it'll be a good idea now that we're coming to the end of the book to start having a copy of the original so that we can correct all these things. You know, I have one up right now, but I'll make it a practice.
Somebody else comes, Sangeet. Right. Well, you want to stay with food more, or shall we go ahead? Yeah.
I kind of missed what you said in the beginning. My baby was crying. So if there was anything important, if you wanted to say, or
oh no, I was asking the permission for the publication, putting onto our this knowledge bank the study group. That's it. For me, it doesn't matter. I don't have any private kind of thoughts which I would like to keep for myself, since I don't say something which is not true to my past, and my past is not important really. Truly speaking, it's such a boring thing to think of, that somebody will know. So God, so much to know, so much. The overload of information is so huge that you can't find anything anymore.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I couldn't hear clearly, so I thought maybe you were saying something to me, but that's okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
All right. Actually, it's you who asked for this, for the knowledge bank to put these study groups. We kept them off the knowledge bank. So, aphala kankshi bhich yajñach, yajña, which is done without desire of the fruit, vidhi drishtach, in accordance with vidhi, with the law, Ya ijyate, which is offered or sacrificed, yashtavyam eva iti, and with the mind, manach, thinking thus, it should be sacrificed. Samadhaya sasatvikah. That sacrifice is performed as sattvic. Yashtavyam eva iti. Interesting. There was a before kartavyam iti. So the every action has to be done with the mind. It should be done. Kartavyam karma. Yeah? The same with the yajna. Every yajna has to be done with the mind. It should be sacrificed. It should be offered. And that is sattvic sacrifice. Without expectation of the fruit, according to the law or to the rule, that is second. And there are more things here. Abhisamdhaya tu phalam dambhartham apichaivatat ijyate bharata shrestha tam yajnam vidhi rajasam. The sacrifice offered with the view to the personal fruit and also for ostentation or best of the Bharatas, know thou that to be of a rajasic nature. Here it's a little bit different, but abhisamdha, but following about establishing the action for the fruit or focusing on the fruit for the sake of pride or superiority, literally. I'm just literally translating from. For the sake of superiority, seeking the fruit, when the offering is made of Bharata Shrestha, or best of Bharatas, that yajna you should know as Rajasic. Vidhihina asrishta annam mantrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahitam yajnam tamasam parichakshate. Vidhi is the law, the procedure in which the sacrifice is to be made, or the meaning of the whole process of making the offering. Hina, left. So without the law, asrishta annam, not offering the food, because the food is offered during the sacrifice. Mantrahinam, without mantra. Adakshinam, without offering to the Brahmins. Shraddha virahitam, without even faith. Yajnam tamasam parichakshate. Such yajna is known as tamasic. The sacrifice not performed according to the right rule of the Shastra, without giving of food, without mantra, without gifts, empty of faith, is said to be tamasic. Difficult to imagine such a sacrifice, but most probably there are, for some other reasons, yes? For the reasons of can't imagine. The reasons are not told here.
So on that one, he's adakshinam, he's usually that's translated as without the dakshina, the financial remuneration.
Without
the priest.
gifts, yeah.
Yeah, but so he's translating it without giving of food.
Oh, no, without gifts. Dakshina is usually the gift
Okay.
which is given to the Brahmins who performed the sacrifice.
Right. So the gifts is the dakshina,
and
then without food.
Asrishtannam. Yeah.
Okay, asrishtan.
Without giving of food. And he has the whole passage on this.
Oh yeah, the anam. Yeah.
on the food. We can
Yeah.
read if you have time.
Well, let's guess. It's probably about food, including feeding the senses, more than just what we, the food on your plate.
I think it's more ritual. Let us read then.
Yeah.
There will be no giving of food in the sacrifice, and that act in the Indian ritual is symbolic of the element of helpful giving inherent in every action that is real sacrifice.
Yeah.
The indispensable giving to others. Actually, it's in many cultures. It's not only in Indian. We see it in the West. Yes, religious traditions. You have to feed the guest. Yeah. The fruitful help to others, to the world, without which our action becomes a wholly self-regarding thing and a violation of the true universal law of solidarity and interchange. The work will be done without the dakshina. The much needed giving of self-giving to the leaders of the sacrificial action, whether to the outward guide and helper of our work, that is the priest, yeah, or to the veiled or manifested Godhead within us. It also has to be dakshina delivered. Gratitude has to be given. Yeah, I'm grateful for this, that you allowed or you did something for me. So you feel the presence of the divine within us. Yeah. It will be done without the mantra, without the dedicating thought, which is the sacred body of our will. And interesting, the sacred body of our will. And knowledge lifted upwards to the Godheads we serve by our sacrifice. Interestingly, mantra is some kind of self-expression of a higher force, or the aspiration in us, that flame of the word, that prayer, which is calling to the Godheads. Lifted upwards to the Godheads we serve by our sacrifice. We have to make that connection, and mantra is that connection.
Yeah, that whole sentence is quite remarkable. I just heard last night for the first time that Mother said that Sri Aurobindo didn't pray, he just concentrated.
Oh yeah, he explains this actually, that the silent mantra is even more powerful. Not uttered outwardly, not whispered, no. But if you have it in the mind, most probably he had some, or maybe for him it doesn't matter actually, because his concentration is already so mighty that all mantras are kind of rushing into Savitri book with his concentration.
Actually, Vladimir, it's in India, it's not only the food that they pray to. Before cooking, they also pray to in English, the stove and the fire, when they light the fire.
It's a sacrifice, yeah.
They pray to that before they start cooking.
Yeah. India is very special in this food, relations with food, sharing with others. I remember when our workers were coming from the village, they sit under the tree to eat, and they take a little rice, throw it on somewhere. And that is, they are also sharing the food with all those spirits around, it seems. A habit to share food with other creatures around. That they should not be standing there hungrily looking how they eat, because it may cause some damage to their health. So better to share. So amazing. And there is some truth in it, truly speaking. In spite of all superstition, there is some truth if you believe in it. Yeah?
I've heard that in ancient Greece, they would pour out an offering to the unknown God.
Mm.
There was always the sense, or traditionally there was a sense that there was a God that was not recognized in the pantheon.
Interesting. So they recognized gods they already propitiated, but there is someone hiding there. Better we also secure ourselves with him.
Yes, it seems like it's a safety measure, right? So you don't offend anybody.
Right. In case he pops up. Interesting. I didn't know this. It's amazing. All right, let's proceed. Deva. Deva Dvija. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shaucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa Cha Shariram Tapah Uchyate. So the bodily tapas is called of this kind bodily tapas. Tapasya, basically. Worship, Shubhendra translates. Yeah? Worship given to the Godheads. Pujanam here, worship. Pujanam given to the gods, Dvija to the twice born, to the Guru, and to the spiritual, to the wise, Prajna. Shaucham Arjavam, also cleanliness, Shaucham, and Arjavam, basically sincerity, yes, directness, frankness, candid dealings, Shubhendra says. Brahmacharyam, sexual purity, ahimsa cha, and avoidance of killing and injury to others, are called the ascesis of the body. Interesting, yes? Tapas of the body. Tapas is an interesting word. We translate it as ascesis, but it is something more than ascesis. Yeah, it's not this ascetic feeling or action. It's more an energy which is of consciousness, which is purifying the substance. Yeah? That energy of consciousness, when it is focused on something like body or mind or feelings, it starts burning it and purifying it, making it more and more pure and transparent. So the bodily purification by consciousness, which is that which we can define as worshipping gods, Brahmins, Guru, and wise. Worshipping is also another word. Shaucham, purity, sincerity, purity in the sexual sense, not muddling up everywhere with thoughts and feelings and so on. Ahimsa, and freedom from injury of others to others. It's interesting that there are 3 tapasyas here. There is now of speech coming, speech and mind, I think, yes. Because we have this 4 austerities and 4 liberations by the mother, and 3 of them are here actually. First is body, second is speech, and let us read speech. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat svadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. So the tapas which is made of the speech, the ascesis of speech, is causing no troubles to others. Anudvega karam. Udvega is kind of causing trouble or causing fear, making somebody move or shrink, or so anudvegam, yes, not causing any trouble to others. Vakyam, speech. Satyam, true. Priyahitam, established in kind, let us say, kind speech. Svadhyaya abhyasanam, constantly reading the scriptures for oneself, not for others, like we are doing here. Reading for oneself, svadhyaya, is when we study, or even more than study. It's a sacrificial action when we read the text perfectly known to us by heart to ourselves, in order to receive that presence from the meaning. That tapas is made of speech. So free from trouble, true and kind speech. And the word related to the studies of scriptures for oneself, not for others. Not reading on radio. Reading for oneself, being alone in the room when nobody hears you. And then mind. Manah prasadach saumyatvam maunam atma vinigrahach bhava samshuddhih ityetat tapomana samuchyate. A clear and calm gladness of the mind. Prasada. Interesting word, actually. We know prasad only as a laddu at the end of the puja. But prasadam is actually something which is satisfying, or gladness, or happiness. Interesting word because it's from root sad, to sit or to relax. Sitting is relaxing. That which causes you a relaxed state of being, literally. And that is the gladness of the mind. Manah prasadach. Saumyatvam, gentleness. Maunam, silence. Atma vinigrahach, self-control. Atma, self, vinigrahach, control. Bhava samshuddhi, purifying of the whole temperament, of the whole bhava. Ityetat tapomana samuchyate. And that is the mental tapasya. So interesting, mental tapasya. Being happy in the mind, being gentle, in thoughts also, not only in words. When you think, be gentle with others, which is quite a task. Yes, in the mind you can do things. When you're one-on-one with yourself, you can say things that you yourself will wonder, what was that? And then maunam, silence of the mind. Atma vinigrah, self-control in the mind. Bhava samshuddhi, purification of this constant temperament of becoming, constantly working with the mind for purification of becoming, casting all the forces which are coming to muddle up, mix up your state of being, your purity, your kindness, your gentleness, and so on. Disturb your silence. Constantly you have to purify. And this is manasik tapasya. Wonderful, no? These three. We can learn a lot. We don't usually learn. We understand them and then we forget about them. But to learn and to practice is something else. I'm speaking about myself. Shraddhaya tapaya taptam tapas tat trividham naraich aphala kankshibhih yuktaich satvikam parichakshate. Shraddhaya paraya taptam tapach tat trividham naraich. And this threefold ascesis of the body, of speech and mind, done with the highest enlightened faith, Shraddhaya Paraya, Taptam, with no desire for fruit, aphala kanshibhih, harmonized, yuktah, is said to be sattvikam, sattvikam parichakshate. Sri Aurobindo does not translates a bit different from the text, but that's okay because it doesn't change the meaning. So with man who is bound or who is composed with no desire for fruit, the tapas is kind of performed by the higher faith, is called sattvika. This triple tapas, yes? The triple tapas is performed by the man with no desire for fruit of action, with the highest faith, is called sattvika. Again, no desire for fruit, all the time no desire for fruit. Now desire for fruit will come. Satkara mana pujartham tapodambhena chaivatat yat kriyate tad iha proktam rajasam chalam adhruvam. The ascesis which is undertaken to get honor and worship from man for the sake of outward glory and greatness and for ostentation is said to be rajasic, unstable and fleeting. Satkara is actually receiving service, yeah. So being served or being respected. Especially famous people, they always need some attention from others, otherwise they lose their, special status. This is satkara. You always praise them, you always put them in the center, you stand next to them a little in the bent position a bit. It's better. Otherwise, if you stay straight, it feels strange, especially in India. A little you have to show. Mana. A mana is to, that's what Sri Aurobindo says, to get honor and worship from man. Puja, worship, mana, honor. Dambhena chaivatat. For the sake of outward glory, kriyate tadiha proktam rajasam chalam. Yeah, he translates in his own way. For the sake of outward glory. There's no such word here. Maybe it is somebody else. It's also possible. Because the whole translation was done later. This is not Sri Aurobindo's translation. You know that, yes? He didn't translate Gita. It's quite interesting. He translated only passages in the essays on the Gita. Some of them he included, many of them. But then, this is Anil Baran, I think, yes? It is his translation. So Anil Baran substituted those passages which were not translated. And there are many of them.
Oh, so he doesn't tell us which ones were.
Unfortunately, yes, we don't know.
Oh.
Here there is no reference, no point, so most probably. Because Dambhena, by the Dambha, we spoke about this Dambha, superiority complex, kind of suppressing others.
Hypocrisy.
Deceit, fraud, hypocrisy, yes. We see this all the time, this hypocrisy. Yeah? It's everywhere. It's already inbuilt into the laws of our existence. Yeah? We behave in accordance with the framework into which we are put and how we have to address others and so on and so forth. Unfortunately. Sometimes I wonder what is going on with this world being so structured with things which have no meaning, especially in politics. Any idiot can be a leader of the nation. Unbelievable. Or person with money can buy others. Absolute idiot with a lot of money can make everybody miserable. And still the world is going on. Mudha grahena atmano yat pidaya kriyate tapah parasya utsadanartham va tattamasam udaharitam. Mudha grahena atmanah yat pidaya kriyate tapah. That ascesis which is pursued under the clouded and deluded idea, performed with the effort and suffering imposed on himself, or else with the concentration of the energy in a will to do hurt to others, that is said to be tamasic. Mudha graha, stupid capture, literally. Graha, maybe it has some other meaning here in this particular scenario. Let me check. Mudha graha, most probably Gita will be the confused notion, misconception, infatuation, so bewilderment, some kind of atmanach, kind of deceiving oneself, totally being bewildered by oneself, for oneself, with no notion of clarity, not knowing why I'm doing this. I'm doing it, that's it. Pidaya kriyate tapah, which is done with pain and suffering. The tapas is done. Parasya, for the other. Utsadanartham, for the destruction of the other. Tattamasam udaharitam. That tapas is called tamasic. So when we have vengeance or something, when somebody fights to give back the pain to someone, yes, because he received before some injustice, it is tamasic effort. Tapas we can call also effort. The effort is a good word. So the tamasic effort is to cause pain to others or destroy others, with no clear idea for oneself why. Because I feel so. I need it. I'm driven by some vital impulse. There is no conception. There's no vision. There's no need even. Now we are coming to the dana. So we looked into tapas. Look how many were on tapas. So many shlokas. Big number actually. Like 10 shlokas or something. No, yajna was before. Yajna, and then we started with tapasya, with bodily speech, mind, connected with shraddha is called sattvika. And when it is done in tamasic, in a rajasic way, what it means, and when it is done in tamasic way, so like 6 shlokas. Now we are coming to dana, the giving. Datavyam, again the same beautiful concept. Was kartavyam karma, now datavyam danam, yes. Yashtavyam yashtavyaha yajnaha, the yajna which has to be sacrificed, the work which is to be done, and now the gift which is to be given. datavyam iti yadanam diyate anukarine. When the gift, the dana, the giving is given to the anukarine, to the one who, so anupakarine, for the one who is not to be, how to say, returned the favor, let us say it this way. The one who is not to be returned the favor, because sometimes we give the gift because we received something before, so we need to pay back. It's not a payback. With the mind, datavyam should be done. Should be done not because he gave me, but because it should be done without that he gave me. Deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. In the proper place, time, and receiver. Receiver has to be proper. Patre. In patrum means the what do you call it? The vessel. The vessel has to be proper. Let us read Sri Aurobindo's translation. It's here. The sattvic way of giving is to do it for the sake of the going and the beneficence, and to one who does not benefit in return. And it is to bestow in the right conditions of time and place and on the right recipient who is worthy or to whom the gift can be really helpful.
Yeah, the book of paraphrases, instead of go for the sake of going, it's for the sake of giving.
For the sake of giving. Thank you for checking with us, because going does not fit at all. Yeah. For the sake of giving and the beneficence, and to one who does not benefit in return. To one or by one. I already want to correct everything. Don't know. Because upakarin is the one who gives good. Who is, let me check for the dictionary. I will find a better word.
Maybe giving unconditionally.
Yes, absolutely. Unconditionally, one on. Upakarin is the one who is helping, assisting. Yeah? Doing a favor. That's what I was kind of trying to put into. Anupakarin is the one who is not doing you a favor. To him, and the gift is to be given. Interesting. Yeah? Not the one who gives you something and you remember that you have to return. He did so good, so much for us. We have to send a gift, the Christmas card. Yeah. Write a Christmas card. Yeah. Did you? No? You didn't know. It's a mistake. And you have the whole schedule of people to whom you have to do what. This is not sattvic giving. Yattu pratyupakarartham phalam uddishyava punah diyate cha pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smritam. That danam, that giving, is understood as rajasam, which, rajasic kind of giving, is that which is done with unwillingness or violence. Violence to oneself or with a personal and egoistic object, or in the hope of a return of some kind, strings attached. You remember we joked about this before, about Ukrainian story when there's Ivan and Vasil. So Ivan gave to Vasil the gift of nice boots. And every time when he met him, he asked, how are boots? Are they good? Are they fitting? They are not really bad for your feet. So after some next time, 10th time, Vasil sat down, took off the boots, said, take your boots with yourself. This is called strings attached. It's a funny thing, but there are hardly any gifts without strings attached. That's why in the ancient cultures, they were very careful with receiving the gift. Because when you receive the gift, you receive portion of that energy from the person. And that becomes part of your identity, your life, your surrounding. You can't get rid of this. Somebody gives you a nice watch, and you have to think, do you want to wear that watch all the time, looking at it and remembering the person? Yeah. So this is an amazing thing. We don't think about it, but really it happens. And we are, in Sanskrit, it is called danam from root da, which has two meanings: to give and to cut. And so the person who gives to you cuts part of his energy or his being, his body, and gives it to you. So he extends himself through giving. You know why dakshinas were prescribed to be given to the teachers at the end of the studies? I was thinking, it is a voluntary thing. You have to give whatever you want to give or whatever you can give, but you must give dakshina. And I thought, wow, how's that? It's a bit selfish, kind of, but it is not selfish. It is just to be free from the teacher at the end. Teacher gave you so much. So after that, you cannot live your life, So you will be always, referring to the teacher, because all the energy. So to give the gift is to separate oneself from that obligation to look back. It's an amazing thing. It makes you free in occult sense. So this giving has a great power. It's not a small thing. And why it has to be given by the right hand? Because it's dakshina. Yes, dakshina is that daksha, jankuyem, thank you, the same etymology, daksha, thank you. Yeah? The same etymology, Indo-European, which is to be grateful, the kind of gratitude. And the gratitude seems frees you from the obligation. Something it does, yeah. You have to disconnect yourself from those strings attached. It's all about those strings. Oh, it's 7 o'clock. We can stop here. We'll continue with Dhanam next time. Yeah. I'm so excited with this group. Becoming a little bit like drunk with the happiness that we meet and we study such texts. All right, I will close with the mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. By the way, in this view, this mantra is also to free oneself, to let everybody be happy, to see good things, not suffering. That means let me be. Don't come with strings attached. Yes. So to say, it's a freedom, mantra of freedom. And somewhere Mother says, those who pray for their enemies are really, how to say, protected against their enemies. This is something of the kind. If you wish to the whole world only happiness, so you will be protected from any claim. So hi, so somebody wrote here, I think. So starting this recording will go on in the knowledge bank. So there is the whole kind of file. I think there are many there, like 70 or 90 different from the beginning with long, how many years we're studying it already? 2 years or something, or more, because we go slow. So you will find there these things. I do not know how to do. We may put password if you want, that only you can access. It's also possible. On the whole, this series, we put the password, and those who you trust, you can give the password that they can read. Because I cannot trace back what we were talking. Yes, I really do not remember.
Password is a good idea.
Okay, we will do password. It will be safer for everyone. Yes, great. All right, Siegfried, how are you? You're serious. You didn't. Yeah, great. Okay, Spain lost in football. It was unbelievable. To who? To nobody. But there are strange things happening in the world. Yeah, some unknown countries coming up. All right, Ukraine are coming up for some reason. Okay, thank you and have a nice evening and see you then. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.